Step into the realm of contemplation as we dive into a fascinating debate in philosophy, the interplay between determinism and free will. Our goal here is ambitious yet intriguing, to peer into the very nature of reality itself. Throughout this exploration, we'll unveil a metaphysical framework that dares to bridge the gap between these age-old philosophical quandaries, unveiling a perspective where free will and determinism harmonize and complement each other. Determinism is a philosophical idea that suggests everything in the universe unfolds because of cause and effect relationships. This means that every event or occurrence happens because of previous events that set them in motion. In this view, all decisions and actions are essentially preordained based on the chain of causes that led up to them. You can picture it like a rule. If specific facts or events take place in one location, it becomes absolutely necessary for certain other facts or events to also happen elsewhere. Determinism presents a viewpoint that everything in the universe follows a predetermined path based on the interconnected web of causes and effects. It raises questions about the extent to which human choices and actions are genuinely free, or if they are simply the result of prior influences. Free will refers to the capacity of individuals to make choices and decisions that are not solely determined by external factors or prior causes. It's the ability to consider different options and act according to one's own intentions and desires, even in situations where there might be competing influences. In essence, having free will means that individuals have a level of autonomy and control over their actions and choices. They can deliberate, weigh alternatives, and make decisions that reflect their values, preferences, and personal agency. However, the concept of free will is complex. Some argue that if all events are determined by causes, true free will might be an illusion. Despite the apparent contradictions between these two concepts, I propose that they are intricately linked and reliant on each other. To achieve this understanding, I will operate under the assumption that reality encompasses all that a conscious being perceives. In our context as humans, this perception predominantly occurs within the realm of our thoughts. Thoughts are the mental processes and activities that occur within our minds. They encompass various cognitive activities such as reasoning, imagining, remembering, and problem solving. While thoughts are subjective experiences, they can be understood and studied through various scientific approaches. One approach is to measure the electromagnetic field of the human brain generated by the movement of ions in the brain. An electromagnetic field is an area in space where both electric and magnetic effects can be found. When an electric field and a magnetic field move or vibrate, they create electromagnetic waves. Think of these waves like ripples spreading out in a pond when you drop a stone. Electromagnetic waves are energy ripples formed by wiggling electric and magnetic forces. It consists of time-varying electric and magnetic fields, which are perpendicular to each other and are also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of waves. Electromagnetic waves carry energy across space. What sets them apart from mechanical waves is that they don't need a medium to move through. This unique trait allows electromagnetic waves to travel through not only air and solid materials, but also through the vacuum of space. Humans are capable of detecting only a particular range of electromagnetic waves, which we perceive as visible light. Each color of light corresponds to a distinct frequency and energy level. Beyond what we can see, there exist numerous other wavelengths that are outside our visual range. These include radio waves, microwaves, and X-rays. In this context, the connection between thoughts and electromagnetic waves is a fascinating bridge between the mental and the physical. While thoughts themselves are internal mental processes, the fact that they can be associated with measurable electromagnetic activity opens intriguing possibilities for understanding the relationship between the mind and the physical world. Heisenberg's wave-particle duality, a fundamental principle in quantum physics, suggests that waves can exhibit particle-like properties, while particles can exhibit wave-like properties. This definition opposes classical mechanics or Newtonian physics. Applying this concept to the realm of thoughts, we can consider the possibility that thoughts, just like light, may possess dual characteristics, a wave aspect and a particle aspect. Just as light can manifest as both waves and photons, thoughts might have both continuous, undulating qualities akin to waves, and specific distinct properties resembling particles. In the universe, everything is in motion and has a frequency. Nothing is truly still. Molecules are made up of atoms connected by chemical bonds. The space between these atoms is not fixed, so the molecules vibrate like particles connected by springs. This constant vibration creates a type of energy called kinetic energy, which gives physical properties to matter. In a crystal, like common table salt, the atoms are arranged in a specific repeating pattern like a lattice. Since these atoms act like they're attached by tiny springs, they vibrate due to heat or outside forces. These vibrations make waves, which carry heat and sound through the material. These waves are packets of energy, and they can be thought of as particles called phonons. Just as light energy is carried by particles called photons, vibrational energy is carried by phonons. Phonons and electrons are the two main kinds of basic building blocks in solids. While electrons are linked to the electrical properties of materials, phonons are responsible for things like how quickly sound travels through a material and how much heat is needed to change its temperature. The interaction of waves with particles is crucial because it allows us to gather information about the waves and the sources that produce them. Without this interaction, waves would pass through a medium or space without leaving any measurable trace, making it difficult or impossible to study and understand them. Given this nature, there is a big gap of information for how do waves behave when not interacting with particles. This analogy presents a fascinating perspective by suggesting that thoughts, due to their electromagnetic nature, could potentially display a duality that resists straightforward measurement and might even interact with matter. This intriguing proposition implies a deeper connection between the seemingly abstract realm of our thoughts and the puzzling aspects of quantum physics. I hypothesize that the fundamental nature of the universe can be understood through a three-dimensional framework consisting of time, space, and frequency. This concept draws parallels with the mathematical process of Fourier transforms in signal analysis. From this perspective, determinism operates on the plane of time and space, implying that all events are preordained and decisions are already predetermined, following the laws compatible with Newtonian physics. I propose that this deterministic framework might not hold true for wave states, as we primarily observe and measure waves in their particle states, and do not know much about their behavior when in their wave state. Because of this gap in our knowledge, within the frequency domain, a multitude of possibilities emerge. My theory suggests that when viewed from the perspective of frequency and time, each agent is free to choose the frequency to which align their thoughts and focus at every point in time. Under this framework, both deterministic and libertarian points of view are compatible. Consider different frequencies as distinct levels of possibility, akin to starting points on a graph. As time progresses, actions unfold along these frequency levels. For instance, starting at 0,1 in the frequency domain and allowing time to elapse, you would find yourself at x1. Similarly, beginning at 0,5 and letting time pass would lead to x5. Given the same amount of time and following a determined path, an agent would end up in two different points of existence based on the frequency level in which they started. This view offers a new lens through which to contemplate the intricate interplay between causality, determinism, and the dynamic nature of reality. Nikola Tesla, a visionary scientist, succinctly encapsulated this sentiment in the quote, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." The notion of frequency has intertwined itself across various religious and spiritual beliefs, transcending cultural boundaries and echoing a common theme. These belief systems highlight the transformative potential of adjusting one's frequency. One philosophy that embodies this idea is the law of attraction, which posits that positive thoughts usher positive outcomes into a person's life, whereas negative thoughts attract negative consequences. This concept rests upon the belief that thoughts hold a kind of energy, and that optimistic energy draws success across life's domains, encompassing health, finances, and relationships. In this context, numerous spiritual leaders introduce an emotional scale linked to distinct frequencies. This scale spans from the highest emotions, such as joy, appreciation, freedom, love, and empowerment, to the lowest ones, including fear, despair, desperation, grief, and powerlessness. The underlying mechanism of this concept follows a straightforward path. When aiming to elevate one's emotional well-being, the initial step involves recognizing one's current position on the emotional scale. From here, the process entails proactively seeking out thoughts that elicit more positive feelings, leading to an improvement in emotions. As you settle into this new emotional state, a shift up the scale occurs. Then you continue the practice of reaching for a better feeling thought and, in turn, moving up the scale to a higher vibration emotion. The elevated emotions of love and joy, along with their subsequent outcomes resulting from aligning with these emotions, draw an intriguing parallel with teachings from the Abrahamic religions. Love and joy are intricately linked with themes of faith, worship, ethics, and the connection with the divine in all three Abrahamic religions. These emotions serve as foundational elements in the spiritual journey, guiding believers in their interactions with others and in their comprehension of the world. Amidst this rich tapestry of beliefs, an intriguing perspective emerges. Even though we might not be in control over circumstances, outcomes, or most choices in our lives, we do have authority over our internal emotional landscape. This is a pivotal point from which we can navigate the currents of existence, helping us steer through life's challenges with both empowerment and trust.